All across the country, people are still reeling from the effects of the real estate crash. Here in Sarasota, where 25% of available homes are sitting unoccupied, people are starting to get a little bit more interested in creating housing for the future by creating community for today. At the recent Living in Community conference here in Sarasota, Florida, I spoke with some of the attendees about what it means for them to create community and what type of alternative communities they might be looking at and what they're doing to create community in their own lives.
Community is more than just physical proximity to one another. It's a feeling of kinship, and I think that goes to kind of the deepest reaches of the human experience, what really gives us pleasure and meaning in life.
The last speaker talked about your spiritual or personal community being different from your geographic community, and I think that is so true. We have really lost touch with our neighbors. We've lost touch. Our houses have, our neighborhoods have walls around them. Even our houses have walls. So I'm looking for a...
I've been a community builder almost all my professional life. I like bringing people together from different backgrounds to do events together, to live together, to do peacemaking together.
The most favorite time of my life was when I lived in the sorority house in college at Florida State. It was fabulous, and we ate our meals together, we shared bathrooms, we sleeping porches, and I want to recreate that in my life in these latter years. I just think being close to people, being able to have vibrant discussions, not eating meals alone, all of that's important to me because I'm a single woman, and I like being around people.
Well, I had a commune a long time ago, and I found a sense of community and connectedness that really was invaluable. You end up, if you're a Westerner, you're a solo individualist. And especially as the lady said, I'm very concerned about dying or aging anyway. And I look at the options just like she went through, and man, they don't cut it. They're all bad. Dying at home or getting older and older at home in your own place, or nursing home, that's really bad. And a retirement community where everybody's senior, where nobody really knows anybody, doesn't work. It's not loving, and there's no caretaking, in fact. And so I look at that, and it's going to happen to all of us, those issues. And we don't have extended families anymore, so what are we going to do? This is the alternative. You know, some kind of co-housing, some kind of cooperative community is the only viable alternative as far as I'm concerned.
This is a trend that's really needed, especially for the aging population, to give them an option that they don't currently have for people who don't want to be in an assisted living facility and don't want to be isolated, because a lot of people, like my mother for instance, lives in an assisted living facility, and if this was an option, I think she would opt for that. But it's because of the socialization that she has that she began to be really isolated in her own home. And so, you know, from an older perspective, that's the way I see it. But as a mom still raising kids, I think it's a phenomenal way to network with people and share common goals and lessons and joy with other people. I think it's a fabulous idea.
Well, having seen Elder Spirit Co-Housing Community, which is beautiful and beautifully located, that's the one that I'm looking for right now.
I did a video a long time ago on eco-villages, and that's really what I'm interested in, but that's pretty rare and that takes a lot of doing. So co-housing would be nice.
I'd like to live in a multi-generational shared housing community at some point.
I'm the most interested in the co-housing, like creating communities where people each have their own home. I think that's the one that attracts me the most.
I think it's the most sensible way to live, especially as we age.
I think at this point, while I have had the idea of co-housing in some of my visions, I think for right now, building the community in my neighborhood is going to be simply because my house is such that I can't sell it for a while, and so I'll work on building community in my neighborhood.
We're not going to be able to create co-housing communities for everybody that's here now. we don't have the space to do it. We may not have the resources to do that in the future, to just knock down all our infrastructure and rebuild it around intentional communities. So a lot of it's going to be living in place and taking the communities that we have right now and transforming them into something that is more connected, that more reflects our values.
There is this growing energy here in Sarasota to make something happen, not only for individuals but for the community itself. I'm a financial advisor and I see that the big tsunami that's coming is the finances. People have not prepared. They're not going to be able to continue living one house, one condo. They're going to have to start sharing things. And so I think that's what this starts people thinking about, new ways, new paradigms of living in retirement years.
What I love most about the community that we live in now is that it's waking up right now. It seems like just even in the last 5 years that there's really a kind of renewed interest in living in community and local food and sustainability. It really feels like there's the beginning of a kind of renaissance of local that I talked about in my talk earlier, and that's really exciting to see.
I'm coming to these meetings. I'm moving to Sarasota so I can be among this movement.
Visiting many different communities, 4 or 5 different spiritual groups, congregations, if you will, in the arts community, in the theater community, and just getting a tennis meetup, which I like.
I'll talk to some of the different neighbors who are influential and see if we can't get some informal get-together started and see what kind of response there is.
So we've been doing local food projects to strengthen the local economy, projects to transition Sarasota off of fossil fuels, and things that are more directly, specifically related to community forums around different topics to unleash the collective genius of our community to deal with the challenges that we're faced right now at this time in history, and also community celebrations. We've been doing a number of potlucks and contra dances, which I think really embody the kind of co-creative nature of community that we're talking about.
Well, there's a group of friends, a group of like-minded people in Orlando meeting on a regular basis to talk about it. We're about to talk to developers. We're looking for land. We're hoping to find a way to maybe replicate that in the Orlando area.
What am I doing? Well, I just planted an organic garden, and I plan on offering it to some of my neighbors, the bounty of what we grow, to share it, as well as with family and friends.
I think a part of what's going to drive community forward and make community possible in the coming years is a feeling of shared purpose. And I think making this transition from the unsustainable society that we have right now to something that is truly sustainable will help, it will give something for community to form around.
I think we're beings of community, and I think that we thrive when we are living in community and helping one another and sharing our highest intentions.
All over the world, we are realizing that the world is changing. It's actually sitting right before us, like clay on a potter's wheel. Let's mold it to create the life that we want. Let's mold it to create the communities that we want. And to create a community, be part of a community. Start thinking of ideas that you can do to create more community where you live. Invite your neighbors over for movie night. Have a potluck in the park. Do whatever it is to connect more to your neighbors. The social media has been a great tool at helping us realize that we want to connect again. Let's bring it into practical purpose. Let's use it properly. Let's connect. Let's build community and create the world we're looking for. Have a good day.